This
being
conference will now be recorded.
time being 7:10, we'll bring the November 2nd, 2022 Budget Committee meeting at Tilton to order. We'll start with Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you for coming. The Budget Committee consists of Scott Ruggles, Christine Dembitsky, Catherine Dawson, Bill Lawrence, Judy Tilton, and Deborah Shepard. And we will start tonight with first come, first serve. It was CASA. Come on up and present, please. Hey.
Hi.
Are you Tara?
I am Sandy Hislop.
Sandy Hislop?
Hislop,
Okay.
yes. I am a resident of Tilton, and I'm here to represent CASA and CASA's request for
Great.
funding.
Thank you. Would you like to just present an overview of the, I know we have it all here, but maybe just for the records,
Okay.
basic what you're doing, what you do as a CASA.
CASA consists of mostly volunteers who advocate for the abused and neglected children in New Hampshire as guardian ad litems in the court system. So they visit with the children, learn their home circumstances, and report to the court at each of the hearings about the child's welfare, how they're doing, what's happening in their lives, and so forth. The judges really appreciate the fact that CASA is required to visit the child at least once a month, so we can give a real-time update when we go to the hearings every 3 months about what's happening with the child. And CASA trains all of us so that we can represent the child fully in the court system, writing reports, reporting on the conditions of the home and the family, and making recommendations for what we see the child's best interests would be. In Belknap County last year, there were 84 children found to be abused or neglected. 38 of them were from Tilton. That represents 28 families, and it was served by 26 CASAs. CASA has requested funding from all of the towns in Belknap County because all of the towns receive services from CASA in Belknap County. They have received funding from Laconia, Alton, Belmont, Gilmanton so far this year, and historically they received from Center Harbor and us and Tilton. The other towns have not responded to our request. Is there anything I can?
Sure. So how many volunteers does CASA have in?
Currently about 600.
600 in the whole state.
In the whole state, yes.
Now, they also have program, and those are people that aren't paid.
No, we get no compensation whatsoever.
And then there's program and staff that are paid.
Yes.
And what do they do?
They supervise all of the volunteer CASAs. They train them thoroughly, keep them continuing education programs going to them so that they're up to date, and mostly it's supervision. So if you've got a question, you've got somewhere to go to ask.
And how many, do you know how many program people are and how many staff there are? So I'm not sure what the difference
I
between
didn't-
program and staff, but program is the people that are teaching them and staff is,
I'm not sure there's a distinction.
Yeah.
I didn't see anything in my paperwork about staff.
it's just
but
like 2/3 of your budget is involved
Goes,
in that wage.
goes, 2/3 of the budget goes to training and supervising
Okay.
the 600
Right,
CASAs.
yeah, the wages, yeah.
I was here back in 2019, and at that time, we had a little over 400 volunteers. So the program is growing, and we were also shooting to cover 100% of the abused and neglected children in the state. Haven't quite gotten there yet. There were 93 children that had to have a guardian ad litem assigned to them by the state. But CASA is currently saving the state about $3.5 million.
By the volunteer work.
Yes.
Yeah. But you didn't know how many staff and how many
No,
people there are. I'm just curious how many per volunteers that you had.
I can ask that question and get back to you.
Sure, that'd be great. Any other questions?
Yes.
Hi.
I'm Christine. I'm looking at the profit and loss. It says for 1 month. Do you have one for a year?
I don't, but I can get you one.
1 month, I need to compare year to year instead of month to month.
Mhm.
Can you answer any of the financial questions?
Not easily, but I can always get you the answer to any of the questions that you have.
Balance sheet. We have a P&L. So it looks like we only need the year-to-year comparison on the profit and loss.
Okay,
Balance sheet looks like we have one.
all right.
There's something that said, you have a note on the application that you have 2,587,709 in reserves. What is that for?
I saw that also and didn't get an answer to that question yet, but I will.
Okay. And what are temporary restricted equity funds?
Temporary restricted,
funds in the equity on the balance sheet?
okay, I will get an answer.
What was that thing again? What?
Temporary restricted
Okay,
funds on the balance sheet, it's under
Okay, yeah.
equity. I can't really ask any questions without the comparison, so I'm sorry. Well, we might, if we have more questions, we'll probably get another email.
Yep, that's fine.
You have a large fundraising contingent too, is that
Yes,
correct?
yes.
And what do you do for fundraising? Just curious.
They have two big fundraisers. One is in the spring that is an auction type thing and a dinner with that. It's quite expensive to attend, so I never have. But they raise quite a bit that way. They also reach out to the community, and I see Linda and Rich Lovering of Lovering Volvo have supported CASA for quite a while. So they do reach out to individual businesses and communities like
Sure,
us.
sure. Any other questions?
Who did you say responded so far?
I'm sorry?
Who responded so far
Who?
to your request? Who's saying what town?
For the other
responded?
community.
Oh, okay.
I have that on here somewhere.
Laconia, Alton, Belmont, and Gilmanton. And they're waiting to hear from Center Harbor and Tilton.
And the other towns in Belknap County haven't historically responded to our requests.
Yeah, it looks like you've only got 3 towns that have actually money received, which is Alton, Belmont, and Gilmanton.
And Laconia, city of Laconia. That may not be on
Oh,
yours.
it's not on here.
Right. They contribute
They're
1,500.
at the top.
1,500.
Yeah.
What is the formula that's used to determine how much a community in Belknap County is, you request funds from? I can't make sense of what's requested. It's definitely not by population.
It may be by the services
We don't have
services
that either.
provided. And it would change every year. It would change according to the needs. So I think they, on my paper, it looks like it's 10 or 15% depending on the size. Laconia, they ask for 15% of the total budget. And it looks like the others are 10%.
We are always interested in the formula that is used for the,
Okay?
yeah, so if you could
Yep.
maybe get us a little more information on that, would be great.
Mm-hmm. For the amount requested?
Sure, yeah,
Okay.
exactly. Yeah.
Like they could have done it on population, they could have done it on number of services provided.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know.
Okay.
Great,
Okay.
thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yes,
Appreciate your support in the past, too.
yes, thanks.
you.
Okay, we're on to the Hall Memorial Library. Brittany Shanahan. How are you tonight?
Okay, how are you guys?
Good. So just give us kind of an overview of what's going on at the library.
All right, well, it's been a wild few years.
Yeah.
Even though we were only briefly closed completely to the public during COVID, like when COVID first started in 2020, we did have only 2 staff people working part-time. But since 2020 and 2021, our circulation has increased 10%. We currently have 1,541 Tilton cardholders as of November 1st. We've put on 410 programs with over 2,000 participants this year. In September, it is National Library Card Sign-Up Month, and we saw a 2% increase in cardholders overall throughout the month. This year we started doing graphic novel book clubs in the Southwick and the middle school. In the past we had done a library llama program at Southwick, but this year with the schools combining, they have a librarian now.
Mm-hmm.
So we brainstormed other ways to get into the schools. And help, just add. Every year for the past 4 years, we've done a banned book talk at the high school for the English teacher classes. They come to the high school library, and then we talk to them all about, freedom to read and, everything libraries stand for. And right now we are working with Margaret, who is a building and energy consultant, and we're trying to get an Eversource grant to help cut down on our energy costs. So like insulating the building and retrofitting our light fixtures and everything. So we have a busy year and we have lots of great things planned for 2023. We're very excited.
That's great. Do you know if you locked in an energy rate?
We did.
Yeah, great.
Yes.
Great.
Yep.
I just did that myself.
Yep, with ENF.
Yeah, okay, great. How is the Union Sanborn leaving affecting you otherwise? I mean, is the parking something that's still available to you? I know until maybe the building is sold. I mean,
yeah, for the most part. I mean, the parking there is definitely still available to us until it's sold. And so the biggest thing is that the school used to plow our shared
Okay.
driveway.
Sure, yeah.
And so that's one of our increases you'll see under grounds maintenance is because if they still own it, they'll plow it. But if they sell it, then we're not sure what
Sure.
future plowing will look like.
Now, in that parking area is all of your spaces on the
On our
library
side.
side and the others is the schools, right? Okay,
Correct.
I was just curious how that was set up.
Yeah, so we have the bulk in that
Yeah,
parking
okay,
lot.
good, great. Any questions? So you're the new director, basically,
I am
right?
the new director.
Yeah, yeah. And when did you take over?
End of July? End of July?
Pretty close.
Time's flying. We're having so much fun.
Well, I mean, yeah, it sounds like you've got a lot of great programs. So, and I know costs have gone up.
Yeah, I mean, and that's, we cut back where we could.
Yeah.
I mean, we took 5,000 out of like our book, video, audio budget to try to make up for the costs of electricity and heat going
Sure.
up a lot. And our insurance we reappraised, was it the building itself?
Yeah, the building.
So we had to up that cost as well.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't see anything way different, just natural cost increases, but so we're good? Yeah, yeah. So
All right.
great.
Well, thank you guys.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, now we have the Lakes Region Mental Health. Is it Beth Vashon?
Yes.
Want the good shot? That's all right. Okay,
Thank you for coming.
hello. Thank you for having us. So I'm Beth Vashon. I'm the Director of Development and Public Relations, brand new in July. Oh, sorry. Can you hear me now? My voice is a lot louder in my head than and at work. Yeah, so I'm brand new to this position in July, and with me is Sunshine Fisk, our
Hi.
Chief Financial Officer.
Also a resident of Tilton for the last 18 years.
Great.
So there is a thick packet in front of you, but I won't bore you with repeating it. But some things of note, our ask is based on the population that lives in each of the 24 towns that Lakes Region Mental Health serves. We have a 24-town catchment area, and this is the first year that these requests are based on the new 2020 census data. So the Tilton population went up 11% between the old census data and the new census data, which is why you'd see an increase in the ask.
What was the prior year? Just so
It was last year's ask was 3,000.
no, the census data. How old was that?
Oh, that was from 2010.
Yeah.
The last.
So we've had a marked increase in population since then.
Right. So Tilton residents represent 4% of the residents in our total catchment area, but received 4.53% of the services, if you want to be very exact about it. You would have to be living under a rock to know that the demand for mental health services has increased depending on the day, averaging around 20% since pre-COVID.
And the acuity level has increased as well. I mean, where we saw some people who might have had depression and, some of your more run-of-the-mill type diagnosis, now we're seeing more acute patients come in. And I mean, we're attributing that to the lockdowns and, the result of COVID.
Sure.
But,
yeah.
Kids especially are being impacted by this.
So we've made a number of adjustments to try to increase the access to care in both, timeliness and to be able to serve, meet the demand of.
I was curious how you actually marketed yourselves. So is it mostly police referrals, or how do people know about you?
Well, there's 10 community mental health centers in the state of New Hampshire, and each of them align with different counties. So we serve Belknap County and Southern Grafton County, and there's a lot of joint marketing that goes out. There's radio spots, there's printed materials, et cetera, that are, some of them are in the schools. We actually have some of our employees in the schools that provide services to children. There is word of mouth. We do community events. I think if you start looking for mental health services, the community mental health centers are where you're first sort of directed to, and whatever's appropriate for your county is where you would be first sent to. And in Tilton, that would be Lakes Region Mental Health Center. We do, like I said, we do a lot of public speaking, volunteer work, and so.
Community engagement events. Last year, we did receive funding in I'll just cover Belknap County towns that offered us support. Alton, Center Harbor, Belmont, Guilford, Gilmington, Laconia, Meredith, New Hampton, and Grafton County. You're probably not interested in that for tonight's purposes.
Do we have a balance sheet here?
You should have.
Let's see, it's revenues and expenses.
It should be about, should you send the audit?
Yes.
Should have the audit as well.
Yeah, that's 21, I believe.
When this application was due, we didn't have our
We
latest
just
audit.
finished our 22, so we don't, that
We
one.
get a balance sheet.
I'm sure if I can send you the latest audit.
It hasn't improved.
Okay. You said the increase was in 22 or 23?
This year is the first year we've increased our ask based on the new census data.
Okay. And what were we in 21? What percent?
Well, there's been an 11% increase between the
I know, but there's a 4 here, so I was just seeing what number we were
Oh.
last year.
4% of the.
4%. Were we 4%
I would-
still last year?
I think it was in the threes, 3 point a decimal, but I can get you that number too.
I might have it. I just don't have
Well,
it.
you requested 3,000 last year, and you're requesting 7,000 this year. That's quite a big jump.
Yeah, to keep it equitable, it's based on the population in each town and a specific deficit of 175,000. So we break that out based on the population in each town in the catchment area.
Based on population, not services.
Ironically, you're kind of tracking neck and neck on both of those, so you're 4% population-wise.
Oh,
You're
yeah, 4
Yeah,
I wrote
yeah.
it down.
And Tilton residents received about 4.53% of the services.
I guess I would like to see the balance sheet. I can see if there's
Well,
reserves
on
and-
this, you have 117,000 that you're raising,
Yes, that is what we raised
and
through.
4% of that is like 4,700.
Those weren't the requests. That was what,
No, I know, but
Yeah.
I'm saying if you went by 4% of that amount, our share would be 4,700.
That's total received.
yeah, that's the received, not the request.
So when you look at the request, not everybody funds.
Oh, okay,
what's
total
been asked.
agency requests, was that, so, and that's, would you say that was 175, not 146?
The 146, is that total agency? That's the amount requested
Yeah,
by
yeah,
FY '22.
right.
Okay,
So that was 3,000 that was requested in that year.
And of course, we don't know the fiscal year 23
right.
allocations yet.
So how big is your staff?
We have about 180 to 200 staff.
Okay, yeah.
Of course, we are struggling with a workforce shortage.
Yeah,
and-
right now we have about just under 30 vacancies, and that's been about where we've been the last couple of years. Workforce continues to be our biggest challenge. That's, an area.
Is that for all these towns?
So we don't, our workforce just serves. We don't say, well, when someone comes in the door, you're from Tilton, you go see that person. So when we
No,
talk,
but that workforce will work with all these towns?
yes.
Both,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So
this
our,
whole
yeah,
thing, so you,
a clinician could have a caseload that has folks from any of these towns. So we have our Laconia clinicians, we have our Plymouth clinicians. The Plymouth clinicians typically serve the Grafton County
Mhm.
folks, and then the Laconia clinicians would serve the Belknap County residents. They could have mixed caseloads from, they could live anywhere.
Mhm. And do you ever work with like the greater, there's another one that's requesting the Greater Lakes Child Advocacy Center, which is a Greater Child Alliance or something like that.
Advocacy, that, does that
They're
have to do
also,
with
they
mental
deal
health?
with child abuse.
So that might be a social services, that might be social work.
Okay.
We don't go in the home and assess,
Okay.
danger and stuff like that. What we serve is if somebody is battling bipolar, they have a bipolar diagnosis. If a kid comes in and they may have ADHD, they may have schizophrenia, depending on, their age and whatnot. We do several evidence-based practices. Our staff are trained both in the child and family and in the adult services. And we do things like EMDR. We have a match program. The 7 challenges those are some of the new ones that we've been getting our staff trained in. 7 challenges addresses substance misuse in the child population. So we don't have folks come in off the street right now. We don't have the funding to serve people specifically just for substance misuse. We have our existing clients who may have a dual diagnosis where they have a mental illness and they're also struggling with substance misuse. So that's why we have our staff trained so they can see those signs and help the children in sort of a wraparound way.
So are you a walk-in?
That's what this program is, actually, that we're asking you for funding for.
So you just one center, or how many?
So we have 2 locations.
2?
2 primary locations. We have our Laconia office on Main Street, Beacon Street in Laconia, and then on Highland Street in Plymouth. And then in addition to that, we have a group home that is on McGrath Street in Laconia. And we also provide services through a mobile crisis team. And mobile crisis is where folks in crisis would have someone from our staff meet them where they're at. So if they're having a crisis in the home, our staff would be deployed to go out there and try to stabilize the situation.
Which
Do you
saves
do
the
any
town
telemarketing
resources.
type of stuff? I mean,
Telehealth?
phone,
Telehealth.
telehealth? Yeah.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep, we do. Thankfully, some of the insurance requirements have eased because billing used to be an issue when doing telehealth. Now we do have that at our disposal to be able to do telehealth where it's appropriate. If folks have trouble getting in, or it's just more convenient in some capacity for them to see us via telehealth. There is still the value of seeing people face to face. So most of our clients come in face to face, and more so now, as the pandemic thankfully has eased. We see more and more people coming into the office.
Great.
But I will say the telehealth does help with the workforce. I mean, that allows us to.
Well, some people that won't be able to get to your office.
Right. I mean, we have people
does
that live
improve
further
access.
away. Yeah.
And I just want to mention too that our mobile crisis response team is available 24/7 now. So
Is that just one single unit, or?
Yes. So we have 2 people that go out. If it's, it depends on where they're being served. So if they're in Laconia and it's during the day and it's not a snowstorm, we can have, one person being seen with one of our staff that's on shift. And then if there's another one in Laconia or Plymouth or whatever, we could have them go there. So there would be 2. But if it's a questionable safety situation, or it's very remote, or weather is sort of prohibitive, then they would go out. And we actually got funding from the state to get a response vehicle. And we've had it, we put in the order, paid up front 50% about a year ago. We've heard the chassis is on its way.
Right.
Mhm.
I'm
What
waiting.
happened with our police cruiser? Took a year to get it.
We are hopeful, though, that it will be here soon, because the added benefit with that is if there is, a home environment that's questionable, for stabilization, we can bring the patient inside the response vehicle, and it will have, the nice comfy sitting, and the telehealth monitor if we need to contact our prescribers and talk through the staff that are maybe at the office. And it just opens up a lot more opportunity to have that vehicle while we go out and respond to a crisis.
It also, we don't have the data yet, but it will save towns a lot of money in the long run by, it's a preventative service that will help ease up the burden on fire and police emergency services. Hopefully, not hopefully,
There's evidence that
there is
indicates.
evidence, but we would like to see our local evidence, and we'll bring that to you when we have it.
Yeah, we're very excited about it, and staff are too.
Now, revenues, you don't have any self-pay? Is that something that people don't?
Why not? Is this for access to care?
Yes.
Yeah, so the access to care, so our agency as a whole, yes, we have self-pay, but the access to care program is someone that most of the time when they come in and they need an appointment right off, they're very acute and they probably haven't applied for Medicaid if they're new to the system. And we don't generally get much out of pocket, if anything. Our primary concern at that point is to get them into care. And then we do have benefit specialists that would meet with them to get them on Medicaid and then get the funding for their services from the go forward.
Great. Any questions?
I need a balance sheet.
When you get the balance sheet and you see our reserve, you're going to say, why is there a lot of cash there?
We will.
Yes.
Yes, you will.
We will ask that.
So a lot of that is already encumbered. I'll tell you that because that's something that we've been. That is.
Do I know that on the balance sheet? You're going to say what it's encumbered by?
No, I'm going to tell you. So we have an electronic health record that we have to replace, and that's about $1 million right there, right out of the box. Yeah, it's not cheap. And it's not without pain either, because the conversion process is probably going to drive all of us nuts. But that was not a good term. But that write-off is a big cost. Then we also are doing some work on our elevator at Beacon Street. When we renovated that building, the elevator, we did not upgrade anything, so that the components and the motor are upwards of 50 plus years. And that's going to require a substantial investment. I think, I want to say it's like $200,000. I don't have.
Elevators are horrible.
Yeah, it's not great. Then in addition to that, when we acquired the Highland Street property up in Plymouth, the parking lot is sloped. So it had never been really maintained. And there were frost heaves there that could hide a small family. So rather than just pave over it, we decided to do it right, so we wouldn't have to pay each year to, grind up the gravel and put in a new parking lot, which isn't cheap. So we had catch base. We hired an engineer. We've got catch basins put in. We've got the binder down. We're under the gun, hoping that we can get the paving in before the temperatures drop even more. But at the end result is that's another $1,000 or so for that. So we've got some major projects there. And then we also have some other capital costs, but those are the big highlights.
Well, you said some of the items for this parking lot you already paid for.
We haven't. So we have a completion contract. So
they're expended, but you haven't paid.
They're encumbered. They're just not paid. Yeah.
How old is the current electronic health record?
How old is it?
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a good question.
10 years?
Oh, it's more than that. Yeah, it's I don't.
Plus.
Yeah, 10 plus. It's so we can't even extract things out of the system into Excel. If that gives you an idea of how it is.
Okay. She'll email you if we have more.
All set?
Okay, yeah, all set?
Thank you for
Great,
your
thank
time.
you. Yeah, good night.
Thanks.
Brittany, come on down.
She's still here. How long you been there now?
15 years. Yes, this October, actually.
I've only been working for 50 years. You got a ways to go.
Yes, you're right. You're absolutely right.
Okay, want to give us just a,
Brief
overview?
Yeah, sure.
Sure.
So Brittany Stewart, the executive director at the Pines, and
Samantha Magoon, Recreation Director.
so obviously we provide recreational programming for the towns of Tilton and Northfield for all ages. This year has felt a little bit more normal than the past couple. We've gotten back on track with a lot of our programs, fundraising events, community events, and things of that nature that we were unable to run for pretty much 2 years. I think one of the biggest things that we've struggled with, or one of the biggest challenges we've faced this year, is issues with our aging building. We have done a lot of work. We have new boilers. We have, new exterior doors that had rotted out at the bottom where a small animal could fit underneath. We had a leak in our kitchen recently from our sanitizer, which meant that we had to replace the entire kitchen floor, new sink, and we had to repair our parking lot, which if you've seen the craters in it, you would know it was in desperate need of attention on the Dearborn Street side. And then we were, within the past couple months, informed by Hampshire Fire that we may in the future, will have to be replacing our fire suppression system. So we were fortunate to have the building fund that we did. We are putting or contributing funds back in from the rent, or part of the rent that we received from the karate studio, 603 Karate, which is still located in our building. But obviously it's taken a big hit. Some of these projects, especially with the fire suppression system, I believe that we'll be seeking out grant monies to contribute to that, because that will be a very, very costly project. But other than that, yes, we're happy to be back up and
Absolutely.
feeling, like I said, a little bit more normal. This summer we increased our registrations. We weren't quite full. I think that we're kind of trying to ease back into it for everybody's sake. But fall sports are up and running. We will be able to run winter sports this year. Unfortunately, last winter, the schools just weren't use from outside agencies, which we completely understood. We'll be doing at the Tilton School. We haven't done that in a couple of years. And fundraising.
Cost.
Yes, we will be. We will be. Looks like sharing a fee with Samberton to utilize the rink, but we want to offer the community skates night. It's a very, very popular program.
And Tilton does put a skating rink out behind the,
yes,
and it's been so.
We've
on the park commission.
Sent our families, a lot of families
good.
that have inquired. We've said, they do have a rink.
We're trying to advertise it more. We just don't seem to be able to get a good handle on that. But
yes, we've certainly sent our families, especially over the past couple winters, who are looking to do some skating.
Sure, outside. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. So pro fees, what are those?
Anything from before, after school, summer program, vacation camp programs. We charge for our youth sport programs.
Yeah.
And any other programs that we might offer. Like we've been searching. Unfortunately, a lot of the Zumba, the yogas, a lot of those instructors are getting contracted out at bigger fitness centers.
Okay.
So they're not necessarily looking to community centers, but we also would receive a portion of those if we had a class, if and when we're searching, but if and when we would receive a portion of that. So those are your programming fees that we take in.
I see. That's great. Yeah. That is a good area to try to increase if you can find a variety of things to do.
Yes. We had Zumba, we had yoga at one point, and then once COVID hit, and then a lot of them, like I said, they're moving into
bigger contracts with these, the gyms where they're, it's
That are
set.
now
Yep.
opening up. more,
Yes,
too,
and it's,
And their contract doesn't allow them.
right, and their contract doesn't, yes,
Oh,
allow them
to-
to teach outside of
Okay.
the,
Yeah.
yeah.
All right. Anybody have any questions?
Yes. Sorry.
Seems to be,
Where are these expenses coming out of? The new boilers, the exterior doors, the parking lot? Is that a balance sheet item that we don't have?
So it's a capital reserve, which is the two, and I have to go. Let me find this. So the general fund and the capital reserve, which I provide a balance with, and I can get you updated balances. Yeah, this is from 2021. I can get you the most up-to-date balances, but that capital reserve, that money for the boilers had already been taken out. We'd already paid for those. The parking lot came out of the building fund. We have part of our building fund in a 7-day COD in order to try to accrue interest.
Is that on the balance sheet or?
No, that's included in the capital reserve. I include what's in the building fund and the 7-day COD, being that they're kind of connected, if you will. But like I said, I can certainly provide you with, as of today, if you will, amounts.
What's that paper look like? 'Cause I don't
It's
think I
the
have that.
asset accounts that we have.
I was gonna say, it doesn't look like.
I don't think-
So at the end of,
it's just a,
I don't know.
yeah,
It was the second part
it's
of the
just that
packet.
little.
Just the one shooter.
it's just the one sheet, but it doesn't have the up-to-date balances, which, like I said, I have no problems providing that information. But the exterior doors came out of the capital reserve / building fund. But this amount is obviously from 2021. That amount is certainly lower now because the doors and the parking lot.
And the application put 100,726. Is that a combination of this general fund and capital reserve, or is this one or the other? On page 3 of the application.
I believe that was 829. I want to say that would have been the reserves at that time, and I can double check on that. But yeah, at 829, I think that was the capital reserve. That wasn't the actual general fund.
It doesn't look like there's a lot of changes from last year to this year. My only question, well, one of the questions would be, I'd like to see a balance sheet, and if you don't have one, I can have to create that. You should know what your assets and your liabilities are.
Oh, well,
What you have for debt.
and correct me if I'm wrong, but Roland would be able to provide that, our accountant.
That.
So a balance sheet.
Show up.
And the updated
Yeah,
reserve
yep.
amount. So the only thing you think in the future that's going to be a big expense that's going to come up is the fire suppression system.
Correct.
The income looks like it's gone up a little bit, so it's pretty steady.
We've been working hard. We just received a grant from the state, another grant from the state that's specifically for childcare program costs in the amount of $19,000. That's listed actually under miscellaneous revenues. I don't think that it got put under the right line when. Oh, actually, no, sorry. That wouldn't show on your sheet because that was recent. That was within the past month and a half. But yeah, we received that money. So, I mean, we're working hard to new programs, with the rising costs of things, we know that we have to.
One of our largest fundraisers is this weekend. If anybody would like to attend our craft fair.
Oh, yes,
It's our
sir.
5th year.
5th annual craft fair, 40 plus vendors,
Yep.
good food.
So
Yeah.
we've still been paying 50%. I know I complain about this every year. We're not 50%. I see it's better each year. I mean, since Brittany's been on here, seems to be more and more Tilton residents served. But have you ever approached Northfield where they should be paying their percentage and not 50%? Or
We haven't necessarily. We've always gone in with the numbers from both towns, and obviously they vary year to year.
Yeah.
We have seen, and just as an example, with the line for the school district now, some of our kiddos are now going to Sanborn Central. However, we know that those kids will be coming back for vacation camps. Sanborn doesn't offer vacation camps. So they'll be coming back and utilizing our services. They'll do our youth sports, but they can't do before and after school programs. So the numbers vary year to year with Tilton and Northfield. As far as Northfield, they are probably real sick of seeing my face because I went several times last year because of that cut that they made to our budget. I was grateful to see that they came through, and from speaking with their town administrator, it looks like we should be receiving the requested amount, hopefully. So, but
For the last budget year?
well, we received the entire amount so we request the amount we requested for 2022. We did receive from Northfield. They did full fund that request, but we're hopeful that 2023, just like I said, I think that it took a lot of work and getting their select board to really understand what we do and how valuable it is to the community. Both towns, in my opinion, are getting a great deal on a recreation department. A lot of departments, the amount that is funded is a director's salary. So
We're still low on teams, huh? Too bad.
what's that?
Not a lot of teams go there.
Well,
We need a team program.
the CIT and junior CIT programs are extremely popular. In fact, we were completely full. Finding other things that generate interest. I mean, we had a good number of them coming to pumpkin carving night.
Oh, yeah.
So, and they do, there is a large the teen population really enjoys the skating. We also do the gun stock program, the outreach program. We do have a lot of teens that utilize that as well because they get a great deal on a season's pass, and you can be up to 18 years old to do that. So
Skiing.
yeah, it's Gunstock does an outreach program, which we participate in. We combine with Samberton. Basically, the way that they do it now is a discounted season's pass, and you can also get 4 lessons included in that if you want. You don't have to. It's per choice of when you're registering. But yeah, we have a lot of teens that utilize that program and get that discounted rate so that they can get on the mountain and have a season's pass at that rate. But don't use the lessons, which is fine. But
Have you already been to the Northfield budget committee this year?
not yet.
I also think it's important to comment on the team programs that being a coach also for the high school and just speaking with the CITs over the summer, I've asked them, what they would like to see us offer and things that they're interested in. And I think the hardest part is that the times that we would offer it, those kids are engaging in sports or other curricular activities that happen. So
Or
that's
working.
right, exactly.
A lot of them are working now.
Absolutely.
And you can go to Market Basket, I think at 14 years old and get a
Yeah,
job. So yep, we have a lot
We have
of
kids that do that.
that.
We do have quite a bit of a turnaround though for them to age out of our program and then actually turn around and work for us.
Right.
I mean, quite several actually.
Yeah,
So-
we have a lot that go through the junior CIT, then CIT programs, and then end up applying for a job with us, which is great because childcare right now is, I know that I forget which agency, but as far as staffing shortages, it's everywhere. But childcare has taken a big hit, and for us, it's crucial that we have staff because we have to meet ratios for the state. If we don't meet those ratios, then we have to start turning people away, and then obviously that affects our income. So.
Do you have a referral program, like if you see a kid come in pretty messed up or something like that?
I mean,
Or
we.
what if they tell one of your staff that, they're having trouble at home, do you refer them out or what do you do with
Duty to
them?
report.
Yes, we do duty to report in our setting. Yes, it is duty to report in our setting. So if they're, depending on the severity or nature of what is expressed to our staff or us, we do have a duty to report.
Which we have had to do several times.
Any other questions? Thanks.
Thank you
Thank
guys
you.
very much.
Great.
We appreciate you.
Yes.
I know we have information about the skating rink, so they can put it on Facebook and share it with everybody.
The outdoor rink.
For the
You
outdoor
can
rink.
advertise on their Facebook, put our skating ring, somebody have that?
I don't know when.
What's that?
I don't know when the DPW is gonna put it up. As soon as we get it up, we'll get it up.
Yeah, we'd be happy to
Not
put
this,
it on
not
our
this
page
week.
too, 'cause-
Anyways.
This week.
Right.
Yeah,
Definitely
exactly.
this week. That'll be a swimming pool.
Yeah.
The porta potty will be
And
there
maybe-
December 15th.
Okay, thanks.
Well, that's important. That's good information. Thank you.
Well, when I got the text back from him, I thought, I hope it's cold by then.
I
Yeah,
hope it's not.
right. Okay, now we have the approval of minutes, October 5th.
Make a motion to approve the minutes of the October 5th, 2022 meeting as written.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Abstain.
Did you both abstain?
Yes.
You don't have to, you know.
I know.
Can I
Okay.
just make one comment though? Can we fix Old Homes Day to Old Home Day?
No, there's
All
no
of our S
hold
on homes. It's Old Home Day.
Old Home Day, so yeah, certainly.
As
we
amended,
can,
then, yeah, thank you.
It just drives me crazy.
Make that, yeah, Old Home Day.
That's the only thing.
The whole time I was typing it too, I'm like, singular.
And you were correct.
Thank you.
Accepted with revision.
Okay, so,
This is a comment for the board.
yes,
Now that everybody's gone.
Yep.
You know, Scott did some numbers here on, let's say, the Pines, and they haven't gone to Northfield yet. I mean, how does everybody feel like seeing if they can push the boundary a little bit to get Northfield to be paying more? We've been paying the same for years and haven't got nearly half. It's what, 28%?
Yeah, and
Yeah, before we vote on it, let them go
yeah,
there.
and just looking at the numbers of participants, the program participants, 2022 by town, Tilton has 28% of the participants. So, and I know, I hope everyone knows here, I'm a huge supporter of
Pines.
the
me
youth
too.
programs, all of that stuff. My kids have gone through it, and I know they do wonderful work, but there also becomes that balance in terms of our ROI.
Yeah, I mean, we can hit Brittany up before they go there. But they did I don't know if they submitted their request yet.
Are they asking them for 50%?
They always do,
It's
and we
always
were
a
way
school.
worse
yeah,
than
we've
this
always
before.
just said
But
it.
they always ask Northfield for it, but they don't get it sometimes.
No, they've been getting it.
Last year was the first year that the Northfield Board of Selectmen cut budgets in their outside agencies. It
She
wasn't,
said they
it
ended up
wasn't
still
just
getting it.
one, there was like 3 or 4 that they cut.
Yeah, youth assistants, I think.
Yep.
Yeah.
They cut budgets too.
But
And
didn't she say
then,
they ended up getting it though?
Yes.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah,
they
they,
did.
they had residents, they
Yeah,
got
they
a
can stop your
message
meeting.
that they're residents.
It had been
Lose it.
voted at town meeting, so it's hard
Yeah.
to,
They're good
Cut
at
that
stuff.
Wasn't there the staticky situation with ARPA funding that they had received, and I think Northfield didn't want to, because Pines had received that funding, Northfield felt, why did we have to give the full amount? if you're
Oh,
already
that's
getting-" what it
right.
was.
Right.
Yeah,
Yes.
They took that
Right.
percentage, yes.
Yes.
So if they gave them a hard time last time, they're definitely not gonna give them any more.
so are
I
you?
think it's worth the attempt though.
Yeah,
It
because,
sends the message.
yeah,
The numbers are huge. I mean, if they give you the
Right.
same sheets. the
Well,
numbers are
even
there in terms of-
The youth assistance program is based on the school population, which is 54% Northfield, 46 Tilton. So that's how that budget is set up. So I mean, that would be even more fair than, I mean, because this can change year to year. I mean, that's the
Absolutely,
issue. You could
yeah.
have twice as many kids from Tilton all of a sudden,
Yeah, it
although
could-
Northfield just has a bigger base.
It could, I mean, it could.
But I
it
think
could
if you-
shift.
If you look at it, the past years, that's pretty much the normal.
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, I think,
I
well,
think
that's,
I think it's worth,
more kids
you
in
know,
Northfield.
telling Brittany, saying, this is what we're thinking, you know, amend your request to Northfield and see where it goes. They'll probably just give, you know,
it's a very tough situation over
Yeah.
there right now.
I mean,
we are too.
when you go with the numbers.
Yeah.
So,
And we let it fly every single year. And it's, some years it's even worse than 28%.
But I would go with the YAP percentage. That's
Oh, the
the
46
percentage
and
of kids in school.
Well,
And that
it's-
would be an easier sell, I think, than saying,
sure.
Well, she
we're
has
going
to
year
sell
to
it,
year.
not us, yeah.
yeah,
Would it, because, adults use their facility as well,
right.
and kids that aren't in the school yet, preschoolers use it as well. So with that formula, would they be able to defend that? They use the school formula?
Guess it's a start because it's not 50/50.
Well, the other, if you use this formula, it's going to be
It's
changed
bad.
every year. I mean, it would be,
You don't want it to change every
you
year.
can't
want
do that.
consistency
Yeah.
of tax.
Absolutely.
yeah.
You don't want it.
But
to go
it's
up
not
and
even
down.
close to 50/50. So,
Although it's better for Northfield to use the school formula.
right, it helps
Absolutely.
Northfield and
Correct.
eases us into the non 50%, and the next year we can do more, but I don't know.
Yeah,
That's
maybe the
I think
school-
we should,
Maybe the school
Tell her to
formula
give it a
is the way to
shot.
go.
if everybody agrees, we can put out an email to Brittany or talk to her.
What was that?
Yeah, give her a heads up before she meets with them.
Well, they've already submitted their request because they were due like a month ago.
Yeah.
So they've already got the request
Yeah.
at that percent.
Yeah.
So we could, I
You
mean,
can tell them that Tilton is
we
Giving her
could,
a hard
we
is
time.
could always,
reluctant.
that's a good question we should have brought up to Brittany here, is that, what do you think, since the figures are skewed naturally towards Northfield, that we go with a school type formula?
Did you
Yeah.
hear what she said, how they struggled last year just to get,
Oh, I know.
so
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, does it
It's
become,
just a shot.
does it become the guidance going forward? Like, we're here where we're at now.
Yeah.
So when we look at it and looking at the guidance going forward so that she can gather her numbers and collect the information and be able to, have that discussion with us and with them about what might be the adjustment and a fair and appropriate adjustment for us to contribute versus what they would contribute in terms of, the participation. And I mean, I would guess that they probably got the numbers going back half a dozen years where they could sort of figure out, a bit of a scale there.
maybe if they push back and they won't do it, maybe both towns need to form a committee and have people from both towns sit down and go over it and make it publicly known that,
Yeah.
The percentage of use should be in the calculation. I mean, it might be something to do.
Well, so
have like
if we
form a
had
committee.
Lisa send a letter to Brittany, what we would say that the board discussed that we were thinking, since seems to be an inequity in Tilton, Northfield usage, that we were wondering if you would be interested in creating a school formula.
I don't-
54-46, just
Tie it the same way.
to approach the inequity that's here right now.
Take a look at it going forward, but I think I definitely have a very good idea, is that do you get a committee together to start to just sort of take a look?
Served by both towns,
So,
Right.
which,
not the selectmen.
yeah,
Right.
no, absolutely, yeah, thanks.
Sorry.
No,
You could have one
trust me,
page.
I'm happy you said that.
No, you could
Enough
have
to do as it
you
is.
could have one selectman, but have citizens,
Oh, absolutely. And by the way, I think something like that would help them too in terms of guidance. It might help them in terms of management. It might help them in terms of looking at, situations that could come up like boilers and,
Yeah.
and that maintenance and the maintenance that they're going to have to do going forward. And, at some point in time, I'm going to guess that you've got the playground over there that's going to need renovations. And there's just,
It would give you a different flavor if you had a committee. It wouldn't be always the 3 selectmen and the 5 selectmen.
well, very honestly, it may be a
Yeah.
good time, to broach that subject, especially with the development of the Pines Park as they've started to work, so there's just there's the time to sort of get momentum though, just in terms of getting some more minds in the room in terms of taking a look at it.
It shouldn't be us against them. It's
Oh, no,
it's
no,
all
no.
of our.
No,
Right.
especially for that's the
Yeah.
community center.
Yeah.
It serves both
Sometimes you
communities.
get
So,
that feeling though, it's us against them, it's us against them. We need to make it
Instead of all the
community.
children.
no, yeah. and-
Yeah, get Northfield on the
Yeah.
side.
Yeah, and in this case, we're talking about those numbers that we're trying to be fiscally responsible
Right.
for our taxpayers.
Absolutely.
We're just looking at
That's our
equity.
job.
I mean,
Yeah.
not equity, but
No, it's
You
our
wanna
job.
fairness of
Fiduciary
who's
responsibility.
who's
That's what we
paying
have.
for what,
Yeah.
who's using, who's
Yeah.
paying. Okay,
Maybe it would be better for the board members to send her what they would think needs to be in the email so she can compose it.
She's sitting there going, what? Deer in the
I'll
headlights.
leave that up to you, Scott.
And
Help her out, because that's gonna be a lot, need good verbiage to put that together.
So do we want to do anything like that yet, or?
I think it's worth a shot to get the word in there. I mean, they're not gonna, you know, in my mind, I know they're not gonna do a darn thing, but, and then I like the committee, because then you're pulling two towns together. I mean, look at what we had with when we had the island. They don't care, you know, so you can get some people in Northfield to care with the Tilton, and you can pull them all together. It'd be nice.
Can our budget committee meet with their budget committee?
Sure.
That's a good idea.
And just say, hey, we're looking at this disparity, what do you think?
Yep.
Might get further with the budget committee than the.
It might be either just to send a letter first
Yeah.
and get a,
Well, it
get,
also
get a,
lets
get a
them know.
perspective on what, you know, I'm sure every budget committee doesn't want to pay any more money if they can possibly do that.
Of course not.
So,
But
Well,
sending
being
a
budget
letter,
Committee, they could understand what we're trying to accomplish.
when it lets them know in the future, okay, this year, everybody's kind of almost set, but in the future, this is going to be a concern, so
Right,
let's address it
exactly.
throughout the year
Yeah.
instead of waiting till this time of year.
Yeah.
sure. So, are we gonna have Lisa write up a letter, or?
If you, I can take a crack at drafting stuff, but I would.
Yeah,
send
and bring it
to
in.
us first and
Bring it
obviously-
in, we'll
Well, that
we'll discuss it.
I can put it through by email so you could all
Okay.
advise on it. And then
Sure.
we can just sort of talk about it at the next meeting. So
Yeah.
I've got it. I've noted down what I can do. I'll take a crack at it. So just a working draft.
Now, are we okay?
Letter to Brittany or to?
Yeah, it's to the Pine Center.
I would, yeah, I would.
We'll
I
start
think,
with that.
yeah, we'll start with Brittany. I think.
So are we fine with meeting in 2 weeks, or do we feel that we have to meet in 1 week? I think
Two's fine.
Lisa said those,
So far, there's 3 agencies for the 16th, which is Granite State Children's Alliance. They want to do it remotely. That's
Is that the new one?
yeah. And
They
we,
should come in.
So
They're-
they've never
they're-
come in
they're from
before and they want
another-
to do it remotely?
okay. They asked to do it that day, you know, to one of these dates to do it remotely. It's just easier, I guess, for them, but I can let them know.
I'd like them to come in if it's brand new. If they're not comfortable because COVID, they can wear a mask.
I don't think they have any local people here.
Right.
That's a
They're
problem.
They're coming from farther away.
They're asking for local money.
I
They
know.
could, they could have
I'm
somebody
sorry.
remote, but have them come in, because maybe the remote person can answer more questions than the person coming in. I don't know.
Right, like the Casa Sandy, she didn't really know
Yeah.
a lot of the
And
stuff.
that's another thing that disturbed me. I thought our thing was pretty complete of what we're looking for, and we didn't have any of it.
So no one doing it remotely?
It's up to you guys.
I mean, we
You want
could,
the money, come in.
yeah.
That's
It's,
me.
remote is okay with me because I think it will be someone that might know the program better than
They can have one remote.
than
too.
trying to find someone to come in to do that, but.
I think they should come in prepared. I think our application is pretty explicit
Yeah,
of what we want. I'm not as nice as you.
not one person is prepared.
I vote they come in prepared.
Okay, so we have 3.
Oh, I think they should come in.
Okay, well, it looks like we want them to come in.
Okay.
Yeah.
See if they can still do that date.
Yeah,
And then there was Franklin, VNA, and yeah, for the 16th.
okay, so we're gonna have those 3.
Yeah,
Okay.
and the only one I'm waiting to hear back from is Cat.
Okay,
They haven't selected a date. But that would be it for the agencies.
We could do that on the 16th, right? If we hear from them, we could do 4.
Right.
sure.
That's what
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
hoping
Yeah,
for.
we're very efficient. Thank you.
So, you know, too, Lisa had asked me, Joe Jessamine has told me that Lockmere Water, they should have November 15th, they're having the meeting. So
November
we should get
15th,
one for
okay.
them. So just
Great.
to let you know that
Yeah.
We tried to get the momentum going on that, getting the water flowing.
So it feels like we'll be
I see
pretty
what
well,
I'll
Thanks.
pretty well taken care of. So December, we can start working with the town budget exclusively. And even if we have to meet every week to do that, right?
Yeah, I mean, if
Is
these people
will the
get all
town
this
budget be
shit-
pretty well?
Oh, it's, yeah. Tim, we've gotten weekly
Yeah.
updates on it.
Okay.
If the people today get all their stuff in, maybe we could vote after the 4 on the 16th too. because
Sure.
we're just getting
Yeah, we've got
behind. like-
4 and 5. We've got 5 presented,
Yeah,
including Old Home Day.
yeah. that was home.
Just Old Homes. Old
Homes Day.
Yeah.
Yo,
How about the concerts?
It's almost as bad as Deborah.
Are we going to get anything from the concert?
Oh, that's that question.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
see if that's going to happen. How is the overall
Turnout,
review
yeah.
of the concerts this year being shifted?
I think
I know they
people
missed a
liked it.
couple
I
because
heard
of
they
rain,
liked
and
it a lot
one
more.
was
The parking
COVID.
made
I was
such a
told there
difference.
Couple of them were
Oh.
COVID related.
Less
There
parking.
were, honestly, there were 2 or 3 that cases of COVID had popped up with the bands.
Killed it, yeah. Yeah.
At
And
least they're
then,
not killing themselves crossing the street to get over to the island.
No, a little bit of the
Parking
hill,
was
a little
better.
bit of coming up the hill, but people figured when they were up above, they can walk down too, so.
probably should get, a couple golf carts to go running people up and back.
We actually, Pat had the bus and was able to help the folks.
Oh,
who
nice.
Who had, were in wheelchairs and stuff. We were able to give permission so she could drop them off right on the side. So,
Great.
It's a nice venue. I think everyone wants to get the island back, but as they know that's open until we get the island back. So,
Yeah, what are you doing about that?
so
Hush.
We're going home tonight.
yeah.
Can't we put like a Bailey Bridge on the lower part of the island?
Just
I'm not here to talk about the island.
I thought we said rope swing, one at a time.
Right now, you can walk across.
Right.
So, but yeah, I mean, in terms of the amphitheater, the school was very, very happy to do it, and we're happy to do it in the future as well. So, if you've been up there, it's a really, really nice space. There's easy access to bathrooms, including the handicap bathroom that's up top. So,
Right, great.
Yeah, it's there, and as long as we need to allow the town to use it, we'll be happy to use it. The electricity's there. Joe Jessman, if you went this summer, easily sets up his whole grill right next to it. It's quick, easy access.
Nice.
So it's a nice little spot. So.
Okay, anything else?
So there's no meeting on the 9th, right? And
We-
then 16th we'll have those ones that I talked about.
And maybe Cap.
Right, yeah. I'm gonna reach out to them again. And then on the 30th, I'm gonna try for Lockmere and then.
Sure. And
will
Tim,
have the
have the-
public department.
Tim in here.
Tim just woke up.
There it is.
The 30th for the department budget?
I'll have to check, make sure I'm here. Yeah, I'll see if I can do it. I'm supposed to be, but I'll see if I can rearrange that.
Yeah, that's fine.
So no to next week.
Yeah,
Correct.
so 2 weeks.
It's the 16th.
He won't be here the 16th
Oh,
and we'll have the.
Well, we're just doing agencies anyways.
we can always,
We're against the
Not a big
30th.
deal.
You
Yeah,
could
we'll-
send us
we'll
a-
need you
We
the
don't need
30th.
Tim.
yeah.
Well, like I said, it's in here, I'm off. I put in for it weeks ago, so hopefully there's nothing. I'd have to check with my better half.
Yeah.
No, you mean the real
Because
boss.
otherwise
The
you
real
could
boss.
do
The real
next
boss.
week, right? Otherwise you could do next week.
Yes, I could, but,
You can just send us an update. I mean, we can look at
We
it.
can read.
Yeah, we can read.
okay, this is kind of this is the 30,000 foot view of the departmental budget.
Right.
Including, what we see for warrant articles and where all the fund balances are, the priorities for the departments, that sort of thing, at a high level. And then, kind of gives the context for the department heads coming in to do their reviews. But, I'm sure we can work something out.
Yeah, I mean, we can meet weekly in December if we
Yeah.
have to
Yeah,
get
that
that
would
stuff
work.
done. Yeah.
There's plenty of time.
But we're not waiting for the selectmen.
Don't do that. That's deadly in this right now. We don't know what's gonna come across our radar screen. We never know.
Can you email me the packets? I'll print them out for the ones I'm missing.
I'm gonna give you one of the selectmen's that's downstairs. It has been-
Okay. Perfect.
Make a motion to
Motion.
adjourn.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you.
All those in favor,
I
leave.
thought it was gonna be later than this.
13th. of
Yeah, no,
November.
actually,
I
you know,
was waiting for
we've,
9 o'clock.
the thing is, we've been through most of these guys, so we know their system, so, and there hasn't been much of a change, so.
So I went to somebody, we did the Caruso fundraiser Saturday night at the Elks.
Yes.
We raised